All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Superspeedway Truck Series tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. 75 laps is our scheduled race distance tonight. Of course, as always, the 3 attempts of a Green White Checkered should they need it. Qualifying going on as we speak right now, so they've got about another 4 minutes or so to put down some qualifying laps. So we'll see who kind of comes out on top in qualifying. But what we're going to do before we get to all of that is pull up our race standings starting tonight. And it's Gabe Butler with the lead here, 12 points so far. However, surprisingly, without a win so far, but it's been consistency for that number 1 truck with 3 top 5s that has him 12 points ahead of Maxwell Caldwell. In that second position, you see 4 spots, I should say, gained for him. And then you got BK Anderson, Dean Wilkinson, Bud Steele, Eric Laurie, Gaetano Papalardo, and Vicente Guerrero right now are top 8 in the points. And outside looking in right now, tied are Sebastian Marin and Robert Rock. You got Patrick Gruber right there as well, Jay Hilliard. Again, it's going to be the top 8. And we're only on race number 5 here tonight, but again, once you get to once we start race number 9 for those final 4 races, that's where things I say that we're going to be taking the top 8 for the playoffs. So I say we're about halfway in through the regular season, if you will, Matt. So I think points are going to start to become all more crucial as the season progresses. So we'll have to see what's going to be the winning strategy, if you will, for some of these guys. But I have a feeling that a lot of guys aren't going to be thinking about points at all here tonight.
No, those guys who are up top of the standings really shouldn't push come to shove and not take any big risks. But I probably will expect Gabe Butler here probably in the next 3 races to make a trip to victory lane here pretty shortly, because it's been awfully kind of a drought for him. 3 races, I call it a drought for him.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to have 3 top 5s out of 4 races and to be considered in a drought. But say when you're that one truck, I mean, that's kind of what people come to expect of you, is to be able to get those big results. So right now, like I said, qualifying still going, about 2 minutes left in it. So like I said, on the point side of things, we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then pretty much our usual group of here tonight looks like I have a few new faces, at least one, I believe the number 75 of William McKellar the 4th. Joining in tonight in that number 75 truck, so we'll have to see what he's got in store for some of these guys. Also, Al Cena back on action, so glad to see him back on track here tonight as well. And then kind of and then actually I'd be in trouble if I didn't say anything here, but I'll say the power that be, if you will, one of our OGs, if you will, Matt, Charles Johnson, also back in the field here tonight, doing a lot of traveling for work. So good to see Charles hopefully back behind the truck here tonight as well.
Yeah, it's good to see Charles back into the car here, and hopefully go make some moves here.
Yeah, I definitely want to be surprised and saying the pressure's already on in the YouTube chat. Says we got the tunnel take saying that they expect a win tonight from Todd Siebels in that number 45. So don't expect Todd to qualify towards the front. As I say, Todd's always that one who loves to start towards the back of the field and work his way forward. Trying to gain those positions over the course of the race. So he usually, if he's in the thick of it, he's also in the thick of it for that highest climber award as well. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for that number 45 truck tonight as well, though. So it looks like about 30 seconds left, and I see a couple of big names on track right now trying to finish up their laps, including BK Anderson and Sebastian Marin. I think those two will be right now vying to try to get that top spot in qualifying. You see Sebastian coming to the line here using the apron. They're trying to shortcut it as much as possible, and it looks like he'll get his lap in before qualifying completed there. Saying BK Anderson just finishing his lap up as well. And I believe with that, Matt, that's going to do it for qualifying here tonight. So we're going to go ahead and pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And it's going to be Gabe Butler with the pole by 4 thousandths of a second over Gary Slapinski. Joe Delavecchia there in third. Haven't seen Joe in a while too. Another driver that hasn't been around for a few races. Good to see Joe back as well. There's Sebastian Marin there in fourth. Vicente Guerrero fifth. They got Dean Wilkinson, Dale Willoughby, Patrick Gruber, Seth Gruber. They figured out the qualifying mojo. They're right back together once again in that 01 and 02 trucks. And then Robert DuPont rounding out our top 10. 11th on back, you got Bud Steele and Eric Laurie, 11th and 12th. Then you got Maxwell Caldwell, BK Anderson, Donald Sadusky, Michael Speld, Chummy Miller, Jay Hilliard, Noel Coers, Jack Walls, Scott Ferguson, Derek Guillory, William George, TJ Machado, the first of those not to qualify tonight. He's going to start on his I rating, so it's going to put him to 24th. And the same thing goes from the rest of these guys on back there. You got Gaetano Papalardo, TJ Allen, Matt. You're not racing. Sorry, you're in the booth here. You got one more night with me, then I'll set you free. You go after these boys next week. They got Robert Rock, though, Charles Johnson, Jim Brooks, Keith Horner, Bob Fitzgerald, Dustin Lamb, James Hickson, Todd Siebels, and we mentioned our new name to this league here, William McKellar the fourth. And then we'll go continue on just a few more drivers here, including Randy Miner and Al Cena. So it looks like about 36, 37 trucks most likely taking part tonight. So we'll see what these guys have in store for us this evening.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad to be in the booth. It's been rough for the past couple of weeks, as you saw on here in Greenway Checker TV, but you know, things go. Hopefully these guys put on a good show tonight. You know, Gabe Butler on the pole. You know, it's showing some muscle early.
Yeah, my brother mentioning in the YouTube chat as well, say Gabe needing to earn the Guinness, and he does so in qualifying. However, a little bit different strategy. Once again, some of these guys opting to start from the pits tonight here, Matt. You're going to have Gabe Butler, Joe Delavecchia, Dea Willoughby, Maxwell Caldwell, Sebastian Marin, all going to start from the pits. Eric Laurie as well. So it's going to promote Vicente Guerrero, actually, in the 14 to lead the inside row here coming to green. Let's say Gary Slipinski going to stay on that outside of row number one. And so basically that inside row, a handful of these guys are going to move up a couple spots. So we'll see if that plays any role in this one. So I'm a little surprised to see him do it here at Talladega. I understood it at iRacing Superspeedway, the concerns there. I feel like at Talladega, a little bit more kind of the bread and butter, if you will, of this league. I'd say with that wider track, really able to work that third lane as well. But it looks like they're opting to try to go a little off strategy tonight. So it's going to give them about, looks like 6-7 trucks together. As you can see, they're all kind of lined up here on pit road already. It looks like 6 of the trucks there that are all kind of tagged on with one another. And so that's going to be the next thing, is they got to work together here and make sure that they all get lined up before they start to get going here. So they're just going to be sitting nice and patiently until that pace car, or pace truck, I should say. No, pace car heads off the track, and then they'll hand it over. Then they are released from the pit lane.
That used to bring back a lot of memories back when I first started on the Sunday Super Speedway series. Some of the guys like Gabe and them would start from the pits and just slowly but methodically make their way through the field and just make it look so easy. So I think maybe that's their strategy. You know, I really do agree with it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm a little torn because I feel like the talent has just gotten better and better every season. We just seem to pick up more and more just amazing plate racers. So, and then those that have been here from the beginning, same thing. They've been learning and improving week after week. And so, some drivers that maybe we haven't really worried about too much become really big threats to win these races. So, it's going to be fun to see what they can do. Say, well, obviously, kind of try to keep an eye on the lap times from that second pack to the lead pack. And of course, the big question will be if we get any cautions or not. So, pace cars is already ducked off. They're going through the trial here. And then once that green flag flies, we'll be underway for our scheduled 75 laps tonight here at Talladega. And we are underway, Matt, as the 14 and the 78 lead the field into turn number 1 for the first time. And then say just a little off out of the view here. Here comes those guys heading out of pit road with one another, with Maxwell Caldwell going to follow out the last one in that truck, so he's got to make sure that he tags onto those guys. So like I said, we'll see how they get all organized here as we get going here tonight.
Yeah, I've got my eye on them, and I'll be watching their lap times as well throughout the race.
And we got Charles Johnson kind of doing the opposite approach of dropping. Instead of starting from the pits, he's just going to drop to the apron, roll back a handful of spots, and then pick things back up as well. So field really spreading out pretty quickly there, right around Jim Brooks, kind of a bit of a buffer between himself and some of those trucks up front. But up front, though, wasting no time to get that third lane going. Here come the Gruber brothers, Seth and
here we go.
Seth and Patrick. I'll say they love to work this third lane. And the other truck that I see a lot of times trying to work that third line with him is that 32 of BK Anderson. So, however, lap one going to go to that 78 of Gary Sapinski.
Yeah, we do talk a lot about BK Anderson, but whoa, that was pretty close by Dean Wilkinson.
Yeah, that was a big late
right in front of the Seth Gruber there. Oh my goodness, that was really close.
And you see Gary, he got his lap lead. He's rolling straight on out of it here. And then you see right there that 15 truck, it looks like if Mill Flowers had to roll, got a little uncomfortable, was a little I think a little nervous about what was maybe going to happen there. So he rolled that out to make sure that he gave him some space to get into. Also, the 4 truck of Scott Ferguson do the same, drop to the apron. So we're going to jump back up front, though, because like I said, that huge move by Dean there, it got him up front for a moment, but then those Gruber brothers, they found once again their way back to the front.
I see a little bit of damage on the back of Patrick. Looks like someone got into the back of him.
That's probably some aggressive bump trapping. It might even have been from them having to roll off the throttle a little bit, possibly when Dean made that move. Probably some, you know, it's going to make those guys a little bit nervous there, as you see right there, the 01 having to move up a little bit, I think, from that push. Oh man, these guys time it so tightly with one another. As you see the 01 and the 02 working together on that outside line. That's going to allow Dean Wilkinson and Bud Steele here to hook up on that inside lane.
Yeah, that was from BK Anderson. And no, he does not have front end damage, which is good.
Now, so this is going to be tough because I want to focus on some of these trucks around here, but I'm going to look off the back of Michael Spell's truck because, say, BK Anderson, he's got a fun paint scheme there. He's got Bob Ross rocking on the hood of that cool number 32 truck. So I say these guys always having lots of fun with the paint schemes. So we got Bob Ross on board that 32 as they continue on to start lap number 4 here. And then lap times between that first group and the second pack right now, 51:55 for Dean Wilkinson the last time around. And then Gabe Butler leading that second group, 51:56. So pretty much 1,000th or 100th of a second apart from one of them, from one another, I should say. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Right now they sit about, I believe, 6 or so seconds, maybe even 7 seconds off the lead pack. But there's a few trucks that have fallen off the back just a little bit, which might help them just catch that little bit closer. One of those being that 75 truck there of William McKellar. So William might fall off the draft here. Looks like he's actually starting to reel those guys back in. Randy Miner looks like he's closing in on him. So I think it's going to save him a little bit. And yeah, it looks like Gabe about 8 seconds off the lead pack right now.
They're trying to get that third lane going again with the, I think it's Vicente Guerrero up there.
Yeah, Vicente's working the top, and who else would be working the top lane than BK Anderson?
Yep.
So he, like I said, if there's a third lane, he's never one to shy away from it. He loves to work that outside line. So you see Michael Spells kind of toying with that idea as well. It looks like he is going to stay committed up there. I also see the 07, Robert DuPont. He's had a good solid run here early on in this, going to move himself towards that third truck in that middle lane, and that 37 as well with Keith Horner right behind him.
So Michael Spell decided to join the party up there in that third lane.
Yeah, I say Michael's usually one that just kind of rides early on, but it looks like he's opting to go a little more aggressive. That's the danger right there. You saw Robert DuPont was trying to follow along the 01 and the 02 truck, and now he's going to tuck in, but that was very tight there. And so what happens is, like I said, when you're that second, third, fourth truck in line there, you're pretty much all you see. You almost get mesmerized by those trucks in front. So when you see them move down, you follow along with them. And I think that's exactly what almost happened with Robert there. But great heads up by Dean Wilkinson. You saw him actually drop to the apron there to avoid having contact with that 07 truck, and that's going to allow all these guys to keep being pointed in the right direction.
That is very good heads up by Dean Wilkinson there. I'm the same way as Robert DuPont, because me being in virtual reality, it's really hard to see out to your left. Very, very hard.
And that's actually a good point too, Matt, is the differences of what people could be racing here tonight. I know you obviously running VR. My dad in the 51 Jim Brooks, he runs VR as well. On my side, when I get to race, I actually run 3 screens for my field of view. And so all of these give you different kind of benefits and pros and cons and things of that nature. And then other drivers might even just be running a normal single screen. So it really changes what you have viewpoint wise. So you don't know who can see how well around you. It really changes your point of view. And like I said, for you in VR, Matt, you physically are able to turn your head and look left and right and kind of try to get a view of what's going on. But at times I feel like, you could probably vouch for this. It seems like there almost might be a little bit too much visual input with everything going on at once.
In the meantime, let's check our buddies who started from the pits, see how well they're doing.
So right now it's Sebastian Marin leading that pack. Lap time 51:48 for Sebastian. Leader's actually 51:28, so about 0.2 of a second quicker for that first pack to the second pack. And actually they've fallen to about almost now 8 seconds off the lead pack. So while they're, like I said, they're in a nice safe little pocket here. However, should this thing go green, again, still lots of time until we get to our first scheduled pit stop. But it's just they're not making those huge gains like we've seen before when they kind of do that short pit strategy, or I should say start from the pit strategy. And at the same time, though, we don't know how hard they're pushing at this point in the race. They might still be on cruise control until maybe get a little closer to that pit stop window.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching them. They were taking turns pushing each other, and the lead car would fall to the back.
Yeah, exactly right. I see Dean Wilkinson. He's had enough. He's going to roll to the back. So inside line now, Vicente Guerrero in front of Patrick Groover. That outside line is going to be that 32 of BK Anderson / Bob Ross working that second lane with Michael Spell right behind him. Right now, the inside line pushing very strong and saying actually kind of holding the momentum a little better than I thought they would there. We'll see BK probably get a little run here out of turn number 4, but we'll see if it's enough to lead this lap or not. But right now, these guys all having a really pretty much a back and forth run here. So you can see racing hard, but I feel like there's still a lot of patience going on with these guys up front here.
Yep, and I've just seen Dean Wilkinson drop all the way back to 21st spot.
Yeah, as they drop just outside the draft, they're easily going to be enough to pick up that lead pack once again. He's got plenty of help behind him. And so, yeah, so right now, again, that gap with the second pack, now Maxwell Caldo leading it, showing about 8.3 seconds. You see him out in the background there. The one thing that isn't hurting them, I should say, is the distance between themselves, and that's what we really should be watching, Matt, is the distance between the leader of that second pack to the last car of this lead pack, which right now is William McKellar in that number 75 truck, showing about 5.7 seconds off of him. So while they're about 8 seconds off the lead, it's about a 3 seconds closer to that 75 truck. And I think that's really what's going to be the important thing for them once they get close enough to start picking up that draft of those trucks that are kind of at the back end of that lead pack here.
Look, everybody's being patient and buying their time right now. Usually we see in the Sunday races where I love to run personally. I love those Xfinity cars. But the trucks are a different beast here. For me, they find it a little bit easier to push for my standards. But
and that's it's a big difference between the trucks and the Xfinity cars. Let's say obviously on the pushing side of things, it seems like the truck's a little tougher to push. But also the fuel mileage, the trucks don't get quite the mileage. Both series run reduced fuel tanks, but the trucks just don't quite have the mileage the Xfinity cars do, which kind of allows the Xfinity cars usually to run a 2-stop fuel window in the race, whereas the trucks are pretty much obligated to run a 3-stopper, even if they try to save fuel all the way through. So that's also a big thing that we've noticed with the big difference between these two is that 2-stopper versus a 3-stopper Xfinity versus trucks. So yes, about a little over halfway through. I say we're a little halfway through the fuel run here, Matt. So say this might be about the time where that second pack might be starting to get a little, I wouldn't say antsy, but start thinking about, okay, do we need to be a little more aggressive? And I say, speaking of aggressive, you saw Michael Spell. As soon as he saw that opening to the inside in front of the 6 of Bud Steele, he wasted no time to hop down there in front of him.
Yeah, right now We started at about, what, 8.3, 8 seconds? Now we're down to 8.5 to that second pack. This time they lost a tenth.
Yeah, it's just going to be that ebb and flow. I'll say right now, say with Patrick Gruber, Vicente Guerrero leading the pack right now. 51.72, 51.67 for those front two trucks. And then you go back to Maxwell Caldwell, the 51.75. So yeah, so right now just pretty much matching times with those guys, which honestly is still actually a pretty impressive feat because again, they only have about 6-7 trucks there. So they're still making really good time with what they're doing there. So the other thing to note is we mentioned Gary Slapinski. He didn't start from the pits, but he did opt to go ahead and drop back to those guys. Got that lap lead right away there, and now he's dropped back with that pack as well here. So again, some different strategies move there. Yeah, so he went for kind of stay up front, get the lap lead, and then drop straight to the back. So we'll have to see again. I say still a lot of time to go, but this is almost where if you're in this lead pack, I almost tell those guys, hey, right now as we run here, say we've got 7 trucks out of the running here just with what we're doing here. Let's be smart and keep this gap going, and then from there we can kind of see after pit stops where they might be in relation to us.
Yeah, I can see why that second pack ain't gated. You got the 2 best pushers in. That was very close by the Groove brothers. They almost made contact with each other.
And then Vicente was tempted there too. You saw him; he's like, I want to go up with those guys, but he just wasn't quite enough time to do it. And look at that, just right from the top to the bottom, they're able to push both of them to clear.
Easy.
Yeah.
Good God.
So I say now peeking into the mix though. Say we talked about Keith Horner a little bit there in the 37 car. Now he's that second truck in the outside line pushing BK Anderson. And another truck we haven't talked about too much tonight is that 12 of James Hickson. Right now, that third truck in the outside lane. But as you saw there, he kind of peeked out to the third lane for just a moment. Almost opened the door for that 46 of Derek Guillory to peek on the inside and sneak around him. But here comes that third lane, though. So you see Jay Hilliard working together. It looks like Charles Johnson and Dean Wilkinson. Looks like they're going to try to bring that third lane up to see if they can move their way towards the front here.
You know, Charles, he's going to find a way to try to get to the front.
Yeah, so it may have been a while since Charles been able to race, but say he's never won.
Wow, that was close.
Yeah, a little.
James Hickson. Whoa.
Yeah, the 59 and the 12 almost made contact there. Luckily, able to avoid it. But yeah, say Charles definitely not one known for riding very often. If he has the opportunity, he's gonna push and he's gonna try to get that third lane going. So that's exactly what we're seeing right here. And also some teammates just a little bit off the picture there as well. So you see the 04 here, Chummy Miller, he's right there. Then not too far away from him, you got Dustin Lamb there. And TJ Allen, so you can kind of see the paint scheme changes from some of these guys here. You got that 95, kind of the inverted, if you will, paint schemes with that 95 and the 09. Let's say kind of a cool same concept, but just slightly different colors there. That way, you can kind of tell them apart, but still be able to know they're part of the same crew there.
I'm kind of just a straight black paint scheme. These guys' paint schemes are just incredible here tonight. If we were going to give out an award, I'd give it to the 32.
Yeah, it's hard to vote against Bob Ross. You're definitely right there. But that's what's so much fun with it too, is like that you can do these little things that just make the racing just that much more fun. Like I said, when you got twin brothers in the 01 and the 02 running the Yoshi and Mario paint schemes, kind of a throwback to their childhood with their favorite characters when they used to play. And so things like that are really, really cool to have these guys do. And of course, you'll see a lot of like paint schemes from favorite drivers and things of that nature too. So there's just so many options out there for these guys to be able to do.
Jay Hilder had a chance to take the lead, but opted to stay with Charles Johnson on the outside. But I don't know if that was very smart. Oh, okay, that was very close.
Yeah, and
there goes BK Anderson takes the lead.
And that was again the same thing, Matt, there where that 37 of Keith Horner wanted to try to follow BK Anderson, but again, there was just only enough room for the one truck. Let's say realized it quick enough, but you know those trucks on the inside line, their hearts probably skipped a beat there, just knowing that's like, oh, that could have been really close, but able to keep it going. And again, that gap though, Matt, from that lead pack to the second pack from the pits, it's actually grown. It's now from the lead, it's about 10 seconds. And from the last driver in the draft, there's still that 75 just on cruise control. It's grown to almost 7 seconds as well. So You can see the field, they've really started to stretch it out here, all kind of single file out, because again, pit stops probably in about 4 laps roughly. We're going to probably start to see drivers hit pit road, so that's why you're starting to see that outside line really start to fizzle out off the back of these guys. I say right now, BK Anderson leading that inside train, and you see the 37 of Keith Horner. He's got a few trucks with him, but it looks like only about 3 or 4 there will actually hop out back and look behind Keith Horner there. And you see you got the 12 truck right there with him. And then also along there is, 4 total there. The 15, I believe that is, of Noel Coers. And then the 95 of TJ Allen. So a very, very lonely pack on that outside line here.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they haven't made headway. But at the same time, here we go. Here's pit stops.
Yeah, a little early here. I think they're going a little off strategy here. So you got the 01, 02 coming in together. Looks like they get in cleanly. Then behind them, looks like all is well for these guys also. So looks like about 8 trucks roughly hitting pit road there. So they're going to be the first to come in here with Patrick Gruber, Seth Gruber leading those guys in. Saying they qualified right together. They're going to hit the pit stalls right together. You see Dean Wilkinson going to poke through just in front of them. But yeah, so a little bit of a short pit strategy here, Matt. And that's coming to lap number 20. So I think this might show their game plan here. Maybe just planning on going basically every 20. So I think we'd see basically 20, 40, and 60. Plus that gives them then a 5-lap buffer for green, white, checkered as well. So now the question is, do we see the second pack? Do they react to this? And it looks like we have, yep, here they come, a big chunk of trucks once more coming in, led by BK Anderson. And you see the 07s right there with him as well. Robert Dupont, Vicente Guerrero's in there as well. And I think we had some trouble further back. I think, caution's
we got a
out.
caution.
I think that may have been at pit exit here. I'm going to drop back to, I believe it was, let me see, I think it was around TJ Allen, trying to find that 95 truck here. So let me see, let me go back and try to pick it up here. Watching trucks here still hitting their pit services. Actually, looks like the 46 of Derek Gilray also involved here. So let me find them on our timing and scoring.
Yeah, I found it.
All right, let's go back here and take a look real quick. All right, so we're watching Derek Gilray, and then right behind him is that number 95 of TJ Allen. So I was saying this is right around the pit stop cycle. So this is where you have to be very careful about kind of communication of who's pitting, who's not pitting. But it might be just a different braking zones as I have a kind of a sinking feeling of. As you see the 95 down the inside here, all looks well. Oh, right there, too much rear brake on the 95. You can see he just steps out from behind on him, unfortunately. And that gets into the path of that 26 truck. Or sorry, the 46 truck. And then say the reason for the yellow is right here. Though you see that 46 slides off onto the racing surface. Oh, actually, oh my goodness, who was that drifting through there in between them, Matt? I gotta try to find who that truck was, because I think that, that was
Yeah, I can't pick that
Joe
up.
Della Vecchia there. Let me back it up here. We're gonna watch one more time from Joe's point of view here, because I mean, again, they're just pretty much blind in front of what's happening here. So we'll say, well, we'll hop on to Joe here. We're gonna run it at speed here, so let's listen in. I think actually Joe may have had a little bit of contact from behind that may have sent him. It looked like Al was well, and then just that truck just turned straight left. So we're gonna pick up one last time here, but that's a heart in your throat moment there for Joe here. So let's slow it down once more. We'll look see if we can get an angle here. And right there, yeah, you see everybody starting to try to move around there. Joe is slowed down. You see Gabe was trying to change lanes, got into the back a little bit, and that, oh my goodness, I don't think you can get any closer. First to hitting those trucks, and then look at him avoid the cone as well to avoid that pit penalty. So I'm going to say hands of the race right now goes to that 052 of Joe Della Vecchia. All right, so we're going to jump back live here, Matt, because what's happened now is those drivers that pitted early, that is going to work in their favor. Because they're able to get back out in front of the lead pack. There you see Vicente and BK. They're going to restart 1-2 here, pitting at lap number 20. Patrick Gruber, Seth Gruber there, third and fourth, pitting at lap 19. And then from, looks like the 15 of Noel Coors on back, having to pit under that caution, that's going to drop them into the teens here. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing that could have happened, because a handful of trucks looks like they pitted there as well, even under the yellow already. I'm sure we're going to see plenty more to top off here on that one to go. So, still going to be, at this point, though, there's going to be no questions, though, Matt. It's going to be 2 stops to the end at this point. There's just, I don't think they have the fuel mileage. I don't think. They've proven me wrong before, but I don't think there's the fuel mileage at this point to make it on one more stop.
Yeah, what a break for the guys who started from the pits, because they were losing a ton of time. Just the caution saved them. If we'd have gone caution-free, the pace they were running, I sincerely doubt that was they're gonna catch up.
Yeah, and something else going on here is that 75 truck of William McKellar. I think a little bit of damage, because that truck was pretty much kind of crab walking. So I think we'll probably see a fast repair get used here for that 75, as long as he still has it. And yeah, there goes that truck, that everything gets all niced up and fixed. But yeah, so some suspension damage somewhere for that 75 truck. But luckily able to use that fast repair to his advantage. And sure enough, on the pit stop side of things, a lot of drivers. Looks like about 20 going to stay out here, and about from 21st on back, 22nd on back, looks like all going to hit pit road. Just get that little bit more fuel. Try to go a little bit off strategy once more.
Oh, I have picked up where he got that damage. I'm not sure if you want to pick that up or not.
Well, I think we're on the one to go, so I don't think I'll have time to go back and hunt it down, unfortunately. Which might be a fortunately, unfortunately, I say. We'll have to see. But, yeah, so basically the front row here, Matt, going to be Vicente Guerrero, B.K. Anderson. Row 2 going to be Patrick and Seth Groover. Then you got Charles Johnson, Jay Hilliard in row 3. Dean Wilkinson, James Hickson, row 4. And then Michael Spell and Bob Fitzgerald rounding out our top 10 here on this restart.
There was a bunch of guys who started from the pits. Now they just came in and topped off the rest of the tank, like Gabe Butler, Sebastian Marin.
So I think the question here is going to be, though, Matt, is do they drop off the back again, or do they just stay a little closer, a little tighter to the front here, knowing what they just saw there where, hey, we didn't catch that pack. In fact, they were gapping us. I'm thinking if they want to stay safe, maybe they stay a second back or so, but I don't think they're going to drop more than 1, 2, 3 seconds off the back, because I think we just saw right there, it's going to be too risky, I think, for them to be able to get back up there should they need to.
Yeah, that's a good question. I see Butler and Zamarin are running together right now. We'll see.
And here's the other fun part, though, is you see from about the 4 truck on back of Scott Ferguson, a lot of these guys that topped off, they're going to restart single file here. So that's the other thing, is if that's going to be the next question, do BK and Vicente, if they go a little early, they could catch a few drivers off guard here. So we'll see if they maybe jump a little early to try to get lined up with one another or not. So far, it looks like they're going to kind of wait till the green flies. I said there's a lot of strategy on these restarts on what these guys want to do. You can see behind them a lot of moving around there. I think these guys are getting a little antsy for that restart as we get back to green here, starting lap number 24.
Yeah, they just pretty much didn't want to get a black flag or cause an incident under caution. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, exactly right. So it looks like so far so good. We'll see if anybody has to hit pit road. Maybe, hopefully no unscheduled pit stops here. So that's usually when you would see them happen, is if they jump in. But man, already you can see a lot of movement happening here. These trucks moving from top to bottom to middle. And right now, big wiggler from the O2 truck. I think he's trying to pick up his brother there. And you saw right there the 32, BK Anderson wanted to go with him, but that's allowed him to pick up Charles Johnson, as he's going to get a big push there and immediately go straight to the inside as soon as he cleared that 14. But it's going to be that 01 and the 02 once again getting that big shove and get themselves back out up front here.
It's not a surprise that them two are working great together.
These guys are moving.
And look who's up front right now, Charles Johnson.
Yeah, Charles Johnson takes the point, but these guys have a lot of movement right now. It seems like they're trying to change lanes that maybe the other drivers weren't really ready for. But yeah, so Charles is going to take the point here in that number 9 truck. So we'll see once again the outside line is going to start to push again through 3 and 4. But I say that third line, or I should say the middle line, starting to reform with Michael Spell and Dean Wilkinson there. But yeah, and I say we talked about those group a little further back. Looks like about Robert Rock or so, roughly. Looks like he's going to lead that third group of trucks there. Just trying to claw back up into that main pack. So I think they are going to drop off the back, maybe just not quite as far as they did last time.
There are very few drivers in this race right now that I would love to see in victory lane. No more than Michael Spell.
As we got a couple hitting the apron there, SB Anderson, Vicente Guerrero, they had enough there. They're going to drop to the back and say, definitely, I'll say no disagreement with me there, Matt. I think that would be a pretty popular win all around the league as well. Unfortunately, though, he's got to get around some very tough competition to make that happen. And we've also got a truck they're coming up on pretty fast here. It's the 04 of Chummy Miller. And I have a feeling to say they're already 3x3. We'll probably see him hit the apron. And yet there he goes. He's already dropping down to try to get down to the apron to give these guys some racing room. So the hope for him here is if he can at least try to tag onto the back of this draft and not lose any more time. Once they start singling out, he should be able to start kind of peeking back up a little bit if they can give him some room. I think right there, that's a perfect opportunity right in front of that 75 truck. I think they should be able to make that work. So hopefully from here he can pick up that draft. We're going to go back up front, though, Matt, because they are still 3x3. Now it looks like it's about 4 or 5 trucks deep here. And so also joining the party, there's that 51 of Jim Brooks. He's usually not one to get too aggressive early on in these races. He usually is more of one of those that likes to ride. But it looks like he's decided he's going to have some fun as well there with Dean Wilkinson, Michael Spell working that middle lane. So you got some of the original members here, really, Matt. If you look at that group, you got Charles Johnson right there, Jim Burks right there, Bud Steele, sir. Michael Spell. So you've got a lot of the original crew here, all running together here up front, all in different lanes, but all working together here.
Yeah, they're all in support of, who I'm talking about, Michael Spell. They try and do anything to get this man a W here today. I would love to see it. There goes John Johnson.
He had his
way
fun
toward the back.
Yeah, Charles had his fun. He's going to drop on back. He got some bonus points. It's like, all right, you guys keep after it here. I'll find a little spot to hop in there, and he's able to do that right behind the 12 truck there. I'm saying, again, we talk about strategy week in and week out, Matt, and every week, I'm saying I'm going to sound like a kind of a
broken record.
Broken record, thank you. But I would be doing pretty much right now where Charles Johnson is falling back to, or even I was saying I actually got to shout out the paint scheme update there, and Jack Wells, a good looking. So lost the yellow a little bit, but it's got some nice chrome and black on that Pennzoil truck. But right around where Jack Wells is sitting, right outside the lead pack, but where things are usually about single, maybe double wide, and just kind of just ride, save fuel. And just kind of let the race shake out, let it unfold, and then of course having that inside line to avoid any incidents. Maybe I'll try to drop to the apron if you have to there. So this is kind of my safe zone right there, is right where Jack Wells is sitting. So we'll see if that hopefully doesn't come to fruition. But man, these guys up front once again are starting to really wiggle around here. As Jay Hilliard, he's taking over lead on the inside lane. He's had a big win early on this season. Would love to get a second one as well. And he's got a great push from Donald Sadusky right behind him. Looks like a little bit of door contact for that 01 of Patrick Gruber. You can see the 01's got a little bit of paint rubbed off on it, so a little bit of side-to-side contact somewhere with another truck. So I don't think it's going to affect him at all, but obviously these guys have been racing hard here.
Yeah, they've been 3x3 for the past 5-6 laps.
There goes Dean Wilkinson's like, yep, I'm out.
Speaking of, here comes Bud Steele right on the outside there, getting pushed by Keith Horner.
Yeah, Bud's been in the thick of a lot of these races these last couple of weeks between this series and the Xfinity Series on Sunday as well. He's had a really good show of late as well, either being one of the drivers pushing or being pushed to have a chance to get these wins. So he's definitely one that's, again, I mean, never one that I count out, but I think he's really been stepping up his game lately. He's obviously been the recipient of a pretty solid push at some point there, because if you look from Keith Horner's point of view, he's got a pretty solid dent in the square in the back of that number 6 truck as well. But I don't think it's going to help or hurt its speed at all. That thing should be nice and stout. So you always want to be careful about the front nose damage.
Whoa!
As again, big moves by those Gruber brothers. We saw from the point of view of Keith Horner there. That was a very big move. But those guys, they just, the timing they have is, right there. Once again, they just know exactly when to make these moves here.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
And we're talking about some of those guys that were on cruise control earlier. Say Gary Slapinski, he had fallen back to them. He's actually moving up a little further forward. Same thing I see Dale Willoughby, he's starting to peek into that mix as well here. But say a few drivers still trying to just play it safe though. So you got Joe Della Vecchia there, Sebastian Marin, Gabe Butler. Just kind of cruising at the back here, still not really ready to make those big moves as of yet. So we'll have to keep an eye as this race unfolds. And say one of the chat mentioned earlier, of course, wanting Todd Siebels to get the win here tonight. Like I said, it's not Todd Siebels' time yet. He's going to be waiting and waiting until it's time, and then at some point we'll see him make that move. But I think right now I kind of like where he's at here because these guys, once again, 3x3 and starting to pinch each other just a little more than they have been so far this race.
That's a good choice. Who I want to see in victory lane as well.
I say there's a lot of good options. That's the thing, is it's tough to pick out anybody who you'd be honestly disappointed in seeing win, because it's just, like I said, it's a really good group of guys, and obviously again a lot of competition, but again the camaraderie between the drivers is just really, really impressive. So right now though, we're starting lap number 33 here, Matt. So they all pitted around lap number 19, 21 range, somewhere in that window. So about just over halfway through that fuel window. So again, we'll probably start to see these guys in somewhere roughly around lap number 40 or so. Again, I say we'll have a little bit of a bigger window because some pitted at 19, some pitted all the way down to 22. So I'll say we could see a 3 to even 5 lap range of when these drivers hit pit road, just from obviously the laps when they pitted, and of course some drivers saving some fuel as well to try to get those couple extra laps. Is a big move there by Donald Sadusky. Hops right in front of Patrick Groover as he's going to get that shove he's been looking for. He's going to get the lead there in that number 19 truck, and he's going to take it straight back to the bottom, get a lap lead there, and then hug on right back to that yellow line right in front of that 59 truck.
I'll have a couple of Brown Satine moments if I be running up front right about now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, these guys know what they're doing. But if I'm in the cockpit and I'm right behind him, I would have done with Dean Wilkinson. See ya. I really don't want to get involved.
Yeah, no, I would have definitely dropped back as well here. But we got a couple that they've had enough time rolling in the back. They're ready to go have some more fun. That's going to be Gary Slapinski, Dale Willoughby. You see Gary, he's working that middle lane there for the moment in that furniture row forward. And then he's bringing that Michelob Ultra truck right behind him. But the question is going to be, where does he go? Because at some point, he's going to kind of stall out here behind that lane. And it looks like, I think what could be the option right here is if he can get around that 6 truck of Bud Steele, maybe pick up also that 7 truck still, maybe they can then pop right back up to that 3rd lane. And that's exactly what he does there. Just taking that momentum straight back to the top. Unfortunately, though, losing his helper there in that 7 truck for the moment. But I think might have a chance to hop up there right behind. Nope, he's going to have the Bellhaven truck of Bud Steele that's going to pick up the back bumper.
You expect Bud Steele to give him a nice push up toward the front. Hopefully a shot to have anything for those Groover brothers today. They've been dominant so far.
Yeah, I said they are separated, though. You see they're on the inside and the middle lanes there. So right now you only have the 3 trucks on the outside lanes. But like I said, Bud is definitely giving him all the pushing he can handle right now, as he's gotten to about the 2nd row. Just needs to get a little further up here. As I said, a big squeeze there for a moment there between the 37 78. But they once again give enough room that they'll be able to keep after it here. So I'll say they look like they're on cruise control for just a little bit, Matt, but it looks like the wick has turned right back up.
Yep. I expect that, one of the group, well, it was close. Like we talked about, he did not know he was going to move down. That's really close.
Yeah, once again, tight move between the two of them, but it's allowed Gary to get from the top to the middle here, hop in front of Keith Horner. Say Keith's also been one of those great pushers tonight as well. So this might be the push that Gary is needing to try to see if he can get himself to the front here, maybe lead a lap. Right now, just about a lane shy. And also see peeking in the picture there right behind that 37 is that 7 of Dale Willoughby. So say we saw them work their way up to the front to see if they can continue that progress here. But right now you can see Dale's just having to stay locked on to Keith Horner here. That third truck, Matt, plays a big role in these drafting races because we always talk about the first two trucks, of course, the leader, then the truck pushing that lead truck. But the tighter that third truck is in line, the better that line can flow. But Dale Willoughby, he's got other ideas, and he's going to pick up Eric Laurie as well here. And they're going to try to make that third lane happen. A little bit of a bobble there. And who's that picking up in the picture there as well? Is that the 15? It is 15 of Noel Coers. He decided to hop in the mix here as well. Say right inside that top 10 here as well.
Yeah, we haven't talked about him much all day at all, but yeah, he's gonna make that hop in that middle lane there.
Yeah, so right now it's kind of lonely up top.
Yeah, I really don't think Dale and the 071 have enough momentum.
So the other thing to mention here, Matt, is fuel. Eric Laurie pitting at lap 22. Same thing for Dale Willoughby. Same thing for Gary Slipinski. Seth and Patrick Groover, they pitted at lap number 19 again, basically about a lap or so before that yellow came out. So they will be the earliest ones to hit pit road, I believe, just with them being out front and pitting earlier. I still think that magic number for them is probably around lap number 40. So we'll have to keep an eye and see if they come in next time around. So it seems like they would come into that number. So. But again, this might be the opportunity. Maybe they try to stretch this tank a little longer to get that final stop as low as possible. And that might be the magic trick for some of these guys that might be saving right now, is to try to just be able to take a very small amount of fuel on their final pit stop if we can go green to that point. And with that being said, Matt, just cross the halfway point in this race.
Congratulations, you survived this long.
Yeah, exactly. Congrats to making it to the halfway point in this one, which is wild though, because that means we've still got at least 37 laps of this kind of racing that we've had so far here. So just the one yellow so far, but again, these guys have just been going at it tooth and nail lap after lap. So we're gonna watch from Seth Groover. We'll see if he makes a sharp left down off the track, and nope, not yet. He's gonna go a little further, like I said. And also, of course, that yellow is going to help that mileage out as well. So probably giving himself, again, I think just maybe getting that little bit of extra margin, maybe take just that little bit less fuel on that final pit stop, I think is what these guys are planning on here.
If we count in the factor of the caution laps, I probably predict him probably come down around lap 42, 41.
Yeah, I'll say that's going to be coming up very soon. So I think that's why we see them staying pretty committed to that middle lane. And what's going to happen too is behind those guys, you can see already that middle outside lanes are starting to fizzle out just a little bit here. These guys are starting to, again, kind of get themselves in position. As they said, at the 7 of Dale Willoughby, I think a little bit of a miscue of a bump there from Eric Laurie. But it looks like they're going to keep their trucks pointed straight. So we stay green. And we're going to have, I think Jay Hilliard. Yeah, Jay Hilliard leading the pit road entry here with Dean Wilkinson. Charles Johnson, Robert Rock, Derek Gilray all coming in together. So it looks like about 5 trucks there, while Seth and Patrick Groover again continue to run here. But yeah, so we'll have to keep an eye on that 7 of Dale Willoughby. It looks, as I say, that contact behind them. Trying to catch who that was. I think it may have been something happened to BK Anderson here, Matt. Let's go back and see, because someone was off track.
Yeah, BK. Dale Willoughby and BK Anderson made contact with each other on the front straight.
Oh, yeah, you see the 09 there. Yeah, he's just trying to follow right along there. Oh, the 12 truck, it's by far the worst of that one. Let me switch over to James Hickson here.
Yeah,
he gets looped around. However, off track, so no yellow comes out of that. But man, that's a tough break for James there. And then, Anderson, like I said, and then BK was trying to get back up on track, and so things got very dicey there. And while we were watching that, pit stops once again here, Patrick Groover, Seth Groover, we got about 12 trucks at least here hitting pit road, which has now allowed Gary Slipinski to take the point there in that 78 truck. And it looks like they've got about 8 trucks in this lead pack, a bit of a breakaway from some of those behind there. You got TJ Allen, who's kind of off on his own, and then you got Joe Della Vecchia leading that third pack, trying to catch right back up to the field here, including that 7 of Dale Willoughby.
Pretty flawless pit stop by the Groover brothers.
So that'll be the next thing we keep an eye on to see when these guys all hit pit road. And again, here comes our next batch of trucks here. It looks like it's being led by Keith Horner. He's going to bring along with that 75. Gets a little too hot.
We got a car on the grass.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. He's actually going to come to a stop here. Now he's going to pick up the gear and get going again. But yeah, unfortunately, it's going to cost him a lot of time. Here's those teammates at 31-33 nail their pit stalls there. You get the 95 and the 91 also hitting pit road. But here's an interesting part though. Look at this though for Gary Slipinski. He's going to start stealing a little bit of draft from these guys coming out of pit road, and that's always great for your in and out laps. Just kind of keep that pace up on that truck there. Now he just has to hope that he doesn't catch somebody at the wrong time before he wants to hit pit road. So we'll see for Gary here. So let's actually hop on board, see if he hits pit road. We can listen in and see what these guys have to do to get down to speed here.
Yep, here they come.
Look like nice, calm entry there for Gary. You see Donald Sadusky there, Noel Covers right there as well. Dale Willoughby hitting pit road. And that's going to cycle things around again. Those guys have been kind of playing the sandbag game all race long. Eric Laurie in that 071. And he's separated himself from those guys behind him somehow.
4 wide.
That's not where I'm looking, unfortunately. But right now, though, it's that 071 leading the way here. So again, just trying to use all the draft he can here, Matt. What's about to happen, though, these guys are starting to catch traffic at some awkward places here. But I think we're going to see these guys hit pit road very, very soon, because I think they're going to be pretty much on fumes here very shortly. So we'll watch Eric Laurie. And yep, here he comes. He's going to bring in Joe Delavecchia and say right in the middle of some of those trucks there. But so far, it looks like they're all going to make it. But looks like the fuel sipper here, though, Matt, Todd Siebels, he's going to go one more lap here. He's going to try to make it. He pit at 22. He's at 45 right now. So he is getting every ounce of fuel out of this 745 truck here.
Yeah, you can make about 21 laps. I think you're in a good... Oh, we got a wreck.
Oh, caution's out. Trying to see where it is, who it's involving. And it looks like it may have involved Keith Horner here. And we'll go back and take a look. I believe possibly TJ Allen as well. So
the Groover brother Patrick got involved.
You can still see the smoke from the incident there in 3 and 4. It looks like everybody's got moving again here, but definitely you see at least one truck with a blown motor. Oh, it's the 31 truck of Gaetano. Some heavy damage to that Nesquik truck. So let's go back and see what happened. Unfortunately for that 45 of Todd Siebels, he's going to have to try to just coast this truck here and not run out of fuel. Let's go back and try to see what exactly happened here to bring out this yellow.
The 07.
Oh, yeah, I think I just saw it there as well from that corner of my eye. So let's go back a little bit here. Let me find that 07 truck on my timing and scoring. Where's Robert hiding? There he is. All right, let's back it up one more time. And yeah, I think it's like we've talked about before, Matt. These guys you try to squeeze in there as soon as you get that opening here. So you see Robert DuPont's there. And what's going to happen is I think he's going to try to actually, I want to say maybe. Oh yeah, look, I think he's reacting to that 31 truck. He cuts a little bit low, but unfortunately right hooks Keith Horner, who then picks up Gaetano. Gaetano almost goes straight up and over right off the bat there. And these guys all trying to sneak through the inside there. And then, yeah, there's the 01. He gets a pretty solid shot with it. You see Jim Brooks cutting down to the apron to avoid. And I think as a whole, that's going to be the majority of the trucks that are caught up in that one. Let me go back, find that 01 truck once again. Patrick Groover. Yeah, he's already got some damage there. And motor damage as well. So, unfortunately, it's going to hurt a handful of those trucks there. But yeah, like I said, I think it's just the trucks getting kind of... You get a little nervous at times when you see that movement happen around you. So we'll jump back live here, though. So the first thing I got to find out... Yeah, I was worried about this right here, that 45 truck of Todd Siebels. He did not have enough fuel to go that extra lap plus the caution. So he's going to have to enter a closed pit here. So... what this is going to do is he's going to get an EOL here, I believe. It shouldn't be a hold or anything like that. Just, but I say he has no choice there. And also, great work there by that truck pushing him to get to pit road as well. So hats off to him. But Robert Rock looks like he's going to cycle around here to take the lead of this race. Let's say that when you ever get these yells in the middle of pit stop cycle, it really throws off the timing and scoring. You see everybody starting to get lined back up here once again. And it looks like the majority of the field here, Matt, going to stay on the lead lap. And I think I'm trying to see who's where right now in relation to our race leader. It looks like Dale Willoughby may have got trapped one down, but should be able to be the wave around if he's not the lucky dog already, which actually may have. Yeah, when these cautions come out in the middle of the cycle, it really makes it tough to figure out who should be where.
Oh, gotcha.
So what we're going to do, Matt, let's step away for just a second. We'll let timing and scoring settle out here, and then we'll get things back going on one to go so we can try to figure out and get everything squared away here. So
Yep.
Stay with us.
I agree.
We'll be back here in just a moment. Yeah, it would help if I unmuted myself. Thank you.
Okay.
I was very quiet for a long time there, so thank you for that, Quabi. My brother calling and giving me some info because mute buttons like to help things out. But yeah, so I was talking about a lot of stuff there. We won't go back. You saw it all happen basically. But
Yes, I did.
Here's an interesting thing though, Matt. 3 drivers stay out here: Jack Walls, Michael Spill, Bud Steele. 4th on back, all hitting pit road here. And man, I think when they top this thing off, I think that puts them in the window to make it to the end. So I think this is the right call by Jay Hilliard and company here to make it to the end here. And I think we'll see a lot of drivers top off on this one to go as well.
Yeah, I really think, in all honesty, I think they made a mistake by not coming down and topping off to make sure you get pack 4 fuel so you can make it to the end.
Yeah, exactly right. So do need to mention Lucky Dog, Bob Fitzgerald. He's going to put himself back to the front as that 08 truck gets back around. So I believe that'll give us now 27 back onto the lead lap. Looks like some long pit stops for William George there, trying to get services done to his truck. Vicente Guerrero as well there, 46 seconds, you can see the side damage to that 14. But yeah, so right now, say we're back under yellow here though. And yeah, I was saying, I think just like you said, Matt, that last caution was kind of in the middle of the pit stop cycles. I think it kind of got everybody a little bit amped up, maybe more than usual. I think that's partially what caused that this last yellow we just had right there. So again, need to mention though, again, our top 3 did not pit. Actually, there goes the 101 truck of Randy Miner. Maybe Randy actually being the lucky dog there. Like I said, I think there's some stuff getting squared away with the admins. I think some timing scoring issues. So that's actually going to give us now 28 trucks back onto the lead lap. So yeah, so right now, we'll see how this is all going to go. And I think I see the 01 possibly going around as well. We'll see where he's going to line up here, but. Like I said, just looks like we've been having some timing and scoring issues because, yeah, indeed, looks like they're going to wave that 01 truck around as well. So, as the 07 as well here. So, yeah, looks like there was definitely some timing and scoring hiccups there that the admins are trying to get resolved here. Again, trying to keep things as fair as they can for everybody. That's always a tough thing to do here because you're going to have those that are happy with the decision made and others that are going to be like, hey, why did that benefit them but not me? It's just the nature of the beast here. However, like I said, Matt, 23 to go, going to restart 22 to go, and we've got a big group of trucks here on pit road, I believe led by, it looks like Dean Wilkinson, one of the first, but actually it's going to be Jim Brooks, the first off of pit road, and he'll be the first to come out on lap number 52. Again, I like this call here. I think this could be a race-winning move for these guys topping off. If we go green to the end, I'm not so sure that those that pitted there, like Seth Groover, Jay Hilliard, all those that pitted at 51, may not be able to make it to the end. I'd say it's still going to be tight for those guys. That extra just couple of tenths of a gallon could be enough to make that difference. Jack Walls, Michael Spell, Bud Steele, they need yellows. Well, they need a yellow, and they're going to have to pit. I mean, there's no question there.
Yes.
But maybe they're just thinking, hey, you know what? If there's another yellow, we pit. Everybody's going to pit anyway. Maybe we'll have the track position. So it is going to be interesting to see. But yeah, this is where things get a little bit more crazy than it's already been with these guys. Like I say, once they get to that final fuel window, knowing they can make it, or at least close to make it to the end, usually things ramp up just that little bit extra. So they might get those cautions they're looking for here, Matt.
Yeah, that was a good call by the admins there. Hats off to them. Those guys got trapped a lap down for unnecessary reason, and they have a right to have a fight for the win here. Great call.
So yeah, so with all of that's happened, I believe that's given us 30 trucks back onto the lead lap. Looks like Keith Horner, William McKellar, James Hickson, all one lap down. That will be the lucky dog fight. But up front here, it's going to be Jack Walls that's going to lead this thing back to green. And so far, everybody's been waiting until that green flag flies before they get to go. We'll see if anybody opts to jump a little early. But so far, it looks like no takers on this one, Matt. So I think we're going to once again see that green flag will be what starts the race here. And there it goes. Green flag is back out, and we are down and away. 22 laps remaining here at Talladega.
Well, here's one thing I'm concerned, Gael. If this goes green to the end, you got to really feel for Michael Spell and Jack Walls, but still, they're definitely going to need a caution flag. Maybe one, maybe two. That's the only way they're probably going to have a chance to stay up front right now.
Well, I honestly, even with the yellows, I don't think they make it to the end. I think right now they're at least 10 laps short. So I think their best bet's going to be, like I said, maybe get that timely yellow where they're safely in pit road window, and then they come in and get that fuel. But right now, let's say it's a gamble. So that's the choice they made. They're going to try to gamble with that. As you see, Michael's able to lead that inside line, but now it's Jay Hilliard working that second lane with a great push from that 33 of TJ Mashaw, as he's going to push him straight to the inside lane there. And here comes that third lane, though. Donald Sadusky, we've seen him no concerns running that third lane there. Robert Rocks right there as well. The 0-2 Seth Groover's right in this mix as well. So, like I said, these guys wasting no time, going right back to 3x3.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about Rob Rock all race. He races just like the 45 truck of Todd Siebels, just waits to the end. Quiet but methodically makes his way, makes his presence known at the end of the race.
Yeah, and these guys are starting to squeeze a lot more here, Madison. I'm starting to get nervous for these guys. So you got Dustin Lamb there in that 91 truck right in the thick of it here as well. He's got Gary Slipinski's right there. Again, he was one of the first ones that pitted under that yellow. And, man, we got a lot of movement here up front. Like I said, if I'm these leading pack here, I'm getting a little nervous of what I'm seeing behind me. And I think, again, you see a lot of train there towards the back there, Matt, running single file. Yep. I think that's a combo of worrying about a wreck, but then also just trying to save every
fuel.
drop of fuel. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's I like what Patrick Gruber is doing right here, just quietly. Not really rushed, just taking his time, saving fuel. Knowing when to push. You got the good guy right in front of you just to give the push to.
And saying all of this again, this is all based on things going green to the end. Right now, the first truck up front here that pitted on that one to go is that 4 of Scott Ferguson, but he's running the third lane there, so I mean he's going to be burning a little more fuel. Looks like he's being pretty aggressive up front there as well. So you have to go to the 51 of Jim Brooks on the inside lane. I think he's playing the fuel strategy nicely here. So he is in the middle of the 3-wide battle, which is always a little dangerous. However, also, again, running the inside lane allows you to save fuel, probably just running partial throttle, probably about 3/4 throttle most likely, and is actually gaining track position while saving fuel at the same time. So, like I said, it just really depends on what these guys around him are doing. And, of course, the biggest question of all is if this thing's going to go green, because, I mean, a caution is going to completely shake up the race. And those that pitted there that didn't top off, that'll easily put them in their window to make it to the end.
I like where Dean Wilkinson is running right now. It's got a little bit of a gap right in front of him. Not really worried, just taking his time through the field. Worried about a little bit of fuel. Just waiting for something to happen, take advantage of.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I think he's too far back at this point. I mean, I know there's still lots of racing going. Like I said, if there's a wreck, he's in a great spot. But to be able to challenge for the win, I think he's too far back, and he's going to have to use too much fuel to get back up to that front pack. So that's why if I'm one of those drivers that tops off, I want to be towards the front, like I said, and on the inside line, and that's why I really like where that 51 is. Also, I believe William George is. Oh, he's got some damage. Actually, he's going to be in a tough spot. But Eric Laurie, Dale Willoughby, Gabe Butler, they're all doing the exact same thing here. So I think they're right there in the thick of this lead pack here, and they also topped off there. So I'm pretty happy with where those guys are as well. So, but again, though, I mean, we still got 17 laps to go. At the moment, 2x2, you know you're going to see the third lane pop up again at some point, and it's just going to get that much more aggressive, these guys squeezing one another. So What is going to happen, though, Matt, is in about 7 laps or so, roughly, maybe a little bit more than that, we're going to see those 3 trucks that stayed out have to hit pit road, like Michael Spell, Jack Walls, and Bud Steele.
Yeah, they're going to meet a miracle yellow probably here in the next 7 to 6 laps. That's the only way they're going to have a chance at it.
The one thing that could make things interesting here, Matt, is, again, they can pit. They will stay on the lead lap. However, if we get a late yellow, that will probably force the rest of the field to actually have to hit pit road and take a splash of fuel for that green-white checkered finish, but then allow those other 3 to stay out and cycle possibly out back in front of those guys. So there's a lot to play for strategy-wise, depending on if and when cautions fall. If it goes caution-free, yeah, for sure their goose is cooked, if you will. But a yellow, I think, and depending on the timing of the yellow, could completely change the complexion of the race, especially for those 3 drivers that stayed out.
Oh yes, most definitely. But you love to see them win.
But here they come.
Yep. I think that's really smart, pitting early, take less in the tank, try and prevent you from going a lap down in case the yellow does come out.
Yes, they also bring in Robert DuPont along with them there as well. So as long as let's say now the goal for them is they need to make sure they all hit pit road in and out nicely with one another. And then, yeah, I mean, again, like I said, if there's a yellow and the rest of the field has to hit pit road, this could work out amazingly for them. So right now, as I say that, you see Donald Sadusky getting left in the middle for the moment. Oh, there. Okay, Charles Johnson able to duck back in line. It was a question of who was going to go where, and then Charles was able to find some room to get back in front. But TJ Machado, so we saw his teammate, unfortunately, Gaetano, get caught up in that wreck. However, that 33 holding strong here so far, leading that inside pack with the 59 of Jay Hilliard behind him. But here goes Donald Sadusky getting a great push from Charles Johnson. He's going to go right back to the point.
Right now to that, the second line is not really getting much help as we expect this time, but we're under about 14 to go. I expect things to ramp up here in probably the next 4 to 6 laps.
Yeah, and that's the question again, is kind of the driving styles that we're seeing from various people is, are these guys that are up front, are they running too hard where they're going to have to pit no matter what? Or are they banking on maybe that late yellow that gets them where they can maybe make it in their window? So that's going to be my question. Is some of those drivers, like I said, like Donald and TJ, Jay Hilliard, Charles Johnson, they've been aggressive. They've been fighting. They've been pushing up front here. But again, those guys that topped off here, they're just all been pretty much in cruise control right now. So I still, like I said, I think when these guys start to peel off, it could open the door for those guys like the Eric Lorries, Jim Brooks, Gabe Butler and company. I think if, again, this is all if goes green, this could make it a very interesting final couple of laps to see kind of who can make it, who can't make it. Probably see some trucks sputtering on coming to the white flag, I have a feeling.
Yeah, it's a question about who can save fuel the best. Me running with these guys, there's only one guy in here, but he's not in this field tonight. You already know who I'm talking about, Gael. He's the absolute master at saving fuel. But Gabe Butler, I would probably put my money on him tonight.
And that's the thing, is we haven't really seen a lot of fuel mileage races lately where they pit right at the absolute edge of the window. We've seen some where they have to save fuel under yellow to make sure that they can make those green-white checkers. So this is kind of opening up a whole new can of worms for these drivers. But like I said, I mean, we're talking about what could be happening in 10 more laps. Like I said, we still got to get through 10 laps of what these guys got going on right now before we can say anything. But it definitely has settled down for just a moment here. And I think, again, I think these guys are starting to get to that point where they're deciding, it's like, you know what, I may not want to be the leader of this race, because if we do stay green, yeah, I'm in trouble. And I was saying, I mean, obviously you and I can speak for that pretty well, because we've just had that a few races ago where we had a race that was on fuel mileage, and it was a race of who wasn't going to lead that race, because, yeah, it was working those fuel numbers.
Yeah, unfortunate that caution came out of try to give you a hand there, buddy. But unfortunate, that's the way racing goes.
And that's exactly it. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. It's luck. It's putting yourself in that right position. But I mean, you can do everything right, but then if one caution goes the wrong way, it could make or break somebody's race. And so I mean, that's why a lot of these guys do it. It's a fun little thing to do. It's a little bit of a gambling approach of it as well. And you just never know how these things are going to turn out. Like I said, was it the best laid plans? I mean, you never know how it's going to end up with these guys.
Yeah, that's why I saw. I'm watching Seth Groover. He dropped all the way back, and I think about the 16th spot. No, he went back to pick up his brother.
Yeah, so doing some brotherly love back here. So again, that's the question once more: is have they got the field to go to the end? Patrick pitting at lap number 50, Seth at 51. So again, they might be short on fuel unless they're able to save that number until they can really start to push it. So. But I think what we will be seeing here is those guys working their way towards the front here if they get the opportunity to. Right now, working the outside, but kind of stuck on
they got
a
hell of a run. Watch that third lane here.
Yeah, there they come. It's impressive when they get locked on together and they can do what they do best. Like I said, they are very tough to compete against. I think that just shows the pace of what's going on right now. As these guys are fuel saving. Patrick and Seth's like, you know what? Yeah, you guys go ahead here. We're going to do our own thing, and we'll just go ahead and take the lead here.
Wow.
So not quite both clear yet, but you can see, again, get to 1-2 there. That was about, what, half a lap there, Matt, once they finally got hooked up?
That took about half a lap. It just amazing out there lap times. Right, Seth Groover ran a 50.64, and let's say take TJ Mashaw. He ran at 52.76. So they're about 2 seconds off pace right now, just saving that fuel.
And that could be exactly it, as everybody's going for fuel numbers. And what this could do, though, is this might be, the Groovers might be forcing fuel mileage. Actually, look at this. Here comes some drivers hitting pit road here. Looks like Charles Johnson, one of those that's coming in with Robert Rock and Jay Hilliard. So they decided, you know what, we can't make it. We're going to jump in. However, up front, they'll look at the Groovers. They're going to pick up Dustin Lamb for good measure as well, and they're going to jump towards the front here. So again, it's just going to shake the field up a little more. But again, I feel like there's going to be somebody that's going to be able to run this field number and make it to the end. But what I think what the Groovers have done here, though, Matt, is they've forced the pace of this race to go to pick back up because, like you said, they were going about 2 seconds laps slower than what we know they can actually do.
If I had to guess what they're doing, they're forcing everybody's hand. They think they did all the numbers. They said, oh, we can't make it. So they're trying to stretch their lead out as much as possible. And that way they can shorten their pit stop. So if they do have to pit, they'll come out right in front of the field. Hopefully that will work out for them.
I mean, they're doing a really good job there. Like I said, picking up Dustin Lamb as well. And you can see in the back there, they're starting to go 3x3 once again. I think that's exactly what they've done here, Matt. They've forced people's hand. You see Dale Willoughby, he's jumped to that third lane, trying to make some moves happen here. You see Gary Slipinski starting to peek in as well there. So I think these guys have reacted to it because they had broken away by about a half a second there. You see TJ Mashaw, he's picked back up with them as well. But yeah, right now though, like I said, it's a tough decision here because the other thing they could be doing, Matt, as well, is if they say, hey, we know we got to pit. If we pick up the pace, that's going to force other drivers to race too hard and make themselves have to pit as well, run themselves out of fuel. You see the 12 truck there hitting pit road of James Hickson. I think he was already down laps, so unfortunately it just hasn't been his night so far. But again, still, we're down to 6 to go here, Matt. So I'd say we're starting to get into just about that crunch time. And then again, that field's really starting to split up a little bit here. Look at that gap between Gary Slipinski, Dale Willoughby, about 0.4 of a second there.
I wish I was in that war room in these chat rooms. Everybody discussing how much fuel you got left, how much gut fuel you got left. Did we push hard? I mean, did we slow down? Right now, all our questions will be answered here in the next 5 laps.
Yeah, this is one of those races I want this to stay green because, again, this isn't a race where it's actually, here come the Groover brothers. They're going to duck into pit road with one another. It's going to pass it over to Dustin Lamb as our race leader. That's a quick entry for that 01. Not sure if he got it woed down in time or not. You can see him slow down a little extra, hopefully to be able to make that speed at the timing line. So we'll keep an eye on him there.
No black flags. They made it down the road, thank God.
Yep, already down and away, so quick stops for them. And now look at the field here, man. It's like they're setting up for a green flag pit stop. Everybody's just laying on the inside lane, and I'm going to be watching the lap time once again. Again, we talked about those guys were running in the mid-52s previously until the groupers forced their hands to pick up the speed. So I think, again, it's just who's going to be the one to run the number to make it to the end. Look at these guys. Look at the 101. Here he comes. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go. Randy Minor, he's decided, you know what? I've sat around long enough. I'm going to pick up the pace myself. I see Dean Wilkinson picking up with Todd Siebels here. I see the 37 truck. Again, I think we're about to see these drivers start to get their hands forced once more.
You know, the drivers that were in the back slowly, methodically saving fuel. Like we talked about, I told you they were in a bad spot. Look at Todd Siebels and Dean Wilkinson now.
Yeah, B.K. Anderson along with them there as well, working that third lane. But again, the big question is, are they making their move too soon and burning up too much fuel to still make it to the end or not? And again, as I say, we're all saying this thing as if we won't potentially get that late yellow. So this has to go green for this to work out for these guys. But the TW Motorsports, so they're lined up three, those top three on the inside lane there, the 55, the 45, and the 101. So if they can make it, they are in a very good spot right here.
Yeah, they wouldn't be pushing that hard if they know they couldn't make it. It'll be close. It's going to be really extremely close. Like you said, I wish this thing would go green to the end, and I want to see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat there. What we will see, though, is I say we're not going to see any movement here from these top three. They're going to stay lockstep with one another here. And that could be the other thing, too, is maybe Dean can be the lead-out driver, if you will, for Todd Siebels, where Todd's able to save off of Dean, or Randy Minor's able to save off the two of them, and that gets him to the field number to the end. All three of those drivers did top off on that one to go, and right now those they are those top three positions that they're on. Actually, you see there Dean poking up for just a minute there, maybe trying to get some cool air on the front of that 45 of Todd Siebels here. But the important thing here, Matt, is we're about to cross for 2 to go. And they got to get to that white flag, though, like I said before, at that point, it will be a race to the finish. Here comes Dustin Lamb, B.K. Anderson pushing him towards the front here. All right, so we're at 2 to go, Matt. So say we know it's going to be tight on fuel, so now the question is who's going to sputter? The big bobble there from the push from the 32. And that's the other risk is if you sputter in front of the field here, you may not have enough time to react. So I think we're going to start to see some big moves here. I think this is going to be about where we start to see some trucks risk running out of fuel here coming through through 3 and 4. I think will be when we see our first victims here on fuel.
You know, we haven't talked about all race. Sebastian Marin.
Oh, look at the 91 here. He's jumped to the top. I think he's out of fuel, Matt. I think he went much too soon. But the problem is he has nowhere to go. He can't get to the bottom. And here comes some drivers hitting pit road here, coming to the white flag. They just could not make it. TJ Mashaw, Donald Sadusky, Noel Coers, William George. So up front here, this is going to be the race for the win and for the fuel mileage at this point. You got B.K. Anderson on the outside, Dean Wilkinson on the inside. Can these guys make it, or we'll see who can make it all the way to the end, because at this point now, I'll say it's just who gets that finish line first.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. B.K. Anderson.
Keith Horner's out. He just dropped to the apron. I think Keith is out. Here comes the third lane. Joe Delavecchia out of nowhere. Maxwell Caldwell pushing him on that third lane. They're going to try to make a late charge. We haven't talked about the 23 all race long of Sebastian Marin. He's right in the thick of it. Oh, contact behind Maxwell around.
Oh, Sebastian Marin got involved.
Joe Delavecchia is on his own here by himself here. May not have the push he needs, the help he needs at the line. It looks like
Dean Wilkinson is going to pick up the...
Joe Delavecchia gets the win.
Wow.
So these... Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Joe Delavecchia gets the win over Dean Wilkinson, Todd Siebels, Vicente Guerrero, Gary Slapinski are top 5. Man.
Wow. I really thought that Dean was going to pull that off.
It looked like he was going to have the push to get there at the end, but just didn't pan out. But we got to go back and look at that incident there at the end and say, unfortunately, Maxwell was in a great position himself, and he got caught up in it once again.
Oh.
So let me back it up a little further here. Went a little too soon. And I think I'm wondering if it was either a push gun run or possibly BK had sputtered out of fuel here. But we'll take a look as they come out of turn number 4. Watching that 32 truck, the Bob Ross machine, if you will. And that truck already looks a little sideways there. I think it's maybe a push gun run. And unfortunately for Maxwell Caldwell, just absolute wrong place, wrong time. He gets drilled by the 32 truck after that push, and then you can see all these guys getting collected in it. And you see everybody trying to make some quick avoiding action. And man, BK going for a ride there as well. Actually goes up and over. Say Bob Ross is going to need some Botox after tonight there, Matt. But we'll jump back up to the front here because I thought for sure at that point Joe was just a sitting duck with the two TW Motorsports guys behind him there.
Yeah.
But I guess he just had the momentum, was able to do. You see Dean, he popped up to the outside there as they come out of the tri-oval. But they say it was about 0.03 of a second between the two of them. And right there at the line, there's the winning gap there between about just under half a truck there, with Joe Della Vecchia getting the win here tonight.
Yeah, I really thought with that momentum, Dean was going to clear him, but no, that was not meant to be. That was so close.
Wild.
What a finish!
Just the timing of that yellow, just wild.
What a job by Dean Wilkinson and the 45 of Todd Siebels there. They worked really, really good together. Them teammates there, good to save fuel.
Yep, and I was nervous about them. You pointed them out there at the beginning too, Matt. You said those guys will be able to make it, and they'll be in contention. I thought they were too far back, but they did exactly what they needed to be in contention. So our final results tonight, though, going to be Joe Della Vecchia getting the win over Dean Wilkinson, Todd Siebels. Top 5 will be Vicente Guerrero and Gary Slapinski. And then 6th through 10th, you've got Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Brooks, Eric Lurie, Gabe Butler, and Sebastian Marin. And 11th on back, some of these guys unfortunately caught up in that last lap incident there. BK Anderson, Randy Miner, Maxwell Caldwell, Seth Gruber, and then those that had to pit under that yellow there, or actually should have to pit, including Seth Gruber, Charles Johnson, Robert Rock, Patrick Gruber, and Jay Hilliard there. Looks like they had a pretty good battle there between those guys that did have to pit at the very end. We'll continue on from 18th on back. You've got TJ Mashaw, Donald Sadusky, Noel Coers, Robert DuPont, Scott Ferguson, William George, Bud Steele, Michael Spell, and then those that were not able to make it to the end after that incident drops them down a lap. Dale Willoughby, Dustin Lamb there running out of fuel, unfortunately. Then Jack Walls, William McKellar, Derek Gilray, Keith Horner, James Hickson, TJ Allen, Gaetano Papalardo, and Chummy Miller are 36 drivers taking part in tonight's race.
You know what that means, Gael? We get to talk to our highest climber.
Yeah, we do. I'll say it's going to be another. That's what we talked about too. Is if he was gonna be in the thick of it, he was gonna be probably in that highest climber position, and that is gonna be that number 45, Todd Siebels. And I'll say we'll go ahead and pull Todd up here and get things kicked off. And as we talked about, Matt, if he's going to be in contention for these wins, he's always going to be right in the thick of that highest climber. And once again, 32 positions gained. That last run there at the end there, Todd, Matt was saying, watch those guys, watch Todd, watch Dean. They're going to make a move when it's time to go. I said, no, there's too much time, or they're too far back. They're not going to be able to do that and save the fuel together. They're going to burn it all back trying to get to the front. And yeah, Matt had it spot on there. So you guys put yourselves right into the thick of it there at the end. Just how much self-control did it take there for you guys to kind of have to run a fuel number until you knew you could make it to the end, and before you just kind of unleashed everything you had and try to get that win here tonight?
That's a good question, Gail. I'm usually the fuel guy in our Discord, and I had a little bit more fuel than Dean did, and so we just decided to go an extra couple laps just to make sure. And we had, and then we just turned it on. Everybody else was conserving fuel, and we were all the way in the back and made it up to the front, went the outside, and a little scary getting there. Some folks didn't know we were coming. I think we got taken out a couple times, but we managed to make ourselves get up front. And, the last lap, was pretty hairy coming out of turn 4. Looks like I was fortunate to even still be alive after that point. But Dean, he ran out of fuel right before the finish.
Wow.
But gosh, who was that? Joe? Joe won the race?
Yep.
Joe
Yes.
Dall'Ecchia?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a hell of a run that he had. I'm like, where did he come from? I thought sure as heck we were only worried about the boys in the middle lane, but thought we were going to get Dina first. Unfortunately, got him a second. But I'm thankful to be on the podium and talking to you guys.
And that's actually a good point. I say that was what Matt and I were watching is coming out of 4. You guys were able to stay together after that big wreck behind, and it was like, okay, Joe, at this point, I don't know if he's going to have enough momentum to stay ahead of you guys. But you're right, though. Maybe that late little sputter for Dean at the very end may have been enough to cost the difference there for maybe being able to just maybe pip him at the line there. But yeah, I mean, you guys, like I said, I mean, just really, really well done there. Timing, like I said, timing that to perfection, having to work your way up through the field there. And like I said, kind of dodging the various strategies, either trucks running out or pitting or just still trying to save enough to make it to the end without having to pit. I say you guys had a little bit of everything for that final run there to the end.
Yeah. So being the fuel guy, I wanted to get a lap. I had plenty of fuel to get an extra lap. The darn caution comes out and I run out of fuel coming back. Trying to get, to catch the pace car. Thankfully, I want to thank number 8, Bob Fitzgerald, for pushing me and getting me back into the pit, get me back into the race. Gosh, couldn't have done it without him. But yeah, everything was about fuel this race. It was interesting.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Yeah, you're right. At that one point, the timing of that one yellow that came out right as you were. Let's say you went that one extra lap. We were commenting. It's like, all right, say here's Mr. Fuel Mileage, and then the yellow comes out, and then say just kind of forces you to have to try to go that extra lap even on top of what we're trying to do. So like I said, but yeah, Bob, let's say when we caught that too. I don't think we caught who it was at the time, but yeah, just the sportsmanship camaraderie of some of these guys is just top notch. So. Yeah, definitely a nice gesture for him to get you to pit road, and then from there you kind of took it back in your hands and get back up into that top 3 tonight. So just awesome job tonight, Todd, and definitely want to give you the floor for thanks and shout outs for that top 3 tonight.
Well, I want to congratulate Joe Dall'Ecchia for his win and Dean for second place. Dean's up there in the points pretty good. The TW folks, we had Charles Johnson, Jay Hilliard, Robert Rock, Randy Miner. Randy ran out of fuel right coming out of turn 4. He was pushing me, so we had 3 TW folks right there at the last lap, but he ran out right at the end. It was kind of interesting, and I was concerned about the folks that we were going against in the middle lane. If one of those were to run out of fuel, somebody was going to get pushed and take us out. That was my big concern, but fortunately we missed all of that. But I want to thank the TW folks. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Gail, Matt, sure do love that duo. You guys do a great job. And Area 51 for such a quality racing environment, just a good atmosphere for this super speedway racing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well earned finish there tonight. Todd, was a lot of fun watching you guys work your way up through there. So you had some pressure on the chat as well. Say the tunnel take was saying that they told you they're looking for a win tonight. So not quite there, but say able to push your teammate to second, almost getting the win as well. So say maybe if you're a little selfish next time, try to you be the one to be the pusher or pushy, I should say, to have a chance at the win there. But yeah, just awesome job. Like I said, just the teamwork you guys have is definitely top notch. So well deserved finish here tonight, Todd.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I like to push. That's I feel like I can do that much better than lead. Speaking of, and I didn't realize that Dean had topped off. So my main concern was just conserving my car, saving fuel. But the tunnel take, his name's Greg. He's got a YouTube channel that he posts. He's a good fella, but he's always getting on me for starting in the back. You need to get up front. I'm like, you don't understand. It doesn't do any good if you don't have a car at the end. So you got to have a good functioning car to be able to be there at the end. I haven't won a race yet, but we're getting close. But I made the most advancements, so I guess I get a point for that.
Yep.
My car is clean, 0x.
That's 5
got
right
my
there.
patch repair, and I finished on the podium. So I think I racked up some decent points. So I'm happy with that.
No, that's a solid combo there, like I said, and also getting the highest climber is like leading lap as well point there. So yeah, so you've checked a bunch of the boxes there. So no, I say definitely nothing to hang your head on for sure. I definitely Matt and I have talked about it too. Is like we really like the kind of that game plan of like yep, wait until it's time to go. And I mean, I think we even called at the beginning that that's the way you race, is you kind of let the race come to you, and then when it's really time to go, that's when you get back on and get after. And that's, I mean, it worked to perfection tonight. So yeah, just awesome job tonight, Todd, to get in that top 3.
Well, thank you. And you're going to see a lot of the TW folks. We just hang back. What's really odd is that Robert Rock isn't in one of the top 10. What the hell's that all about?
I pointed out to Guy out, he's one of those guys who slowly but methodically makes his way toward the end, just like you. You guys got the both strategy in the race, which is really fun to watch toward the end.
Well, thanks. Yeah, Robert's funny. He's always sneaks in there in the top 10.
Yeah, I think that was a fuel mileage cause for him, unfortunately, to not get that top 10 tonight. It's like he was one of those that had to duck off there towards the end of that fuel run.
Yeah. Well, had a great time. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, what's that?
No, it's just got a little too greedy in the fuel. He's going to have to go to the Todd Siebels school of fuel saving.
Well, we're all talking fuel. I just don't think all of the teammates realized that we had enough fuel to make it to the end until we were a few laps in, and maybe they had already utilized too much fuel. But I don't know. We try to communicate that, but some of them had their own plan.
Mm-hmm. I wish I took part in this race today, but I do have a few tricks up my sleeve. But maybe at a further certain date. IndyCar, it's really tough to do, but in these stock cars, it's a little bit easier. Save a little bit of fuel on that side.
Well, Matt, you keep teasing us in practice and thinking you're going to be in the race. We get to rub elbows with you, and then you disappear on us.
Well, as you know, I told everybody on the broadcast, next week I will be making my first start here in the truck series. I just went out there, take a few laps with some of the boys out there. It's kind of hairy, more than I'm used to. Back when I first started iRacing, the trucks were like the easiest vehicle to push. I'm going to need more experience, and I'll probably hop in their server early to. I'll probably ask you for some pointers.
Relax. You've always got a helper with the 45 whenever you're on the track. I'm pretty sure I can get the other TW folks to do the same. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Congrats again, Todd.
Thanks,
so
gentlemen.
I'm going to try to hunt back down your teammates. I think we lost Dean there, so hopefully we'll be able to grab him back here in a moment. Yeah, just awesome job though tonight, Todd.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, gentlemen.
All right, so I'm hunting around for Dean. I think I'm not sure if he had to step away or not. So for the moment, we're gonna go out of order once again here, Matt. We're gonna pick up our race winner here, and that is gonna be the number 052 of Joe Dellavecchia. I mentioned he's been around, and then he kind of went MIA, but he's back. And it didn't take him long to find his way back to victory lane, but. Joe, you were one of those guys started from the pits there, just kind of cruising towards the back there. However, not making a big gains on the trucks up in front during that first fuel run. Was there any concern kind of within your guys' camp there of that the lap times weren't there prior? Of course, prior to the yellow, then kind of all was for naught there. So start off with that. Was there any concerns about just you guys weren't catching that lead pack during that first green flag run?
No, not really. There weren't really any concerns. We were hoping we made good times or good pit stops and come out and just do the same thing again, stick together, and we would catch them down. But then the yellow came out, and then it was game on from there.
Yeah, so we'll go from the first run to the last run there. So then you get the timing of the yellow right at the edge of your guys' fuel window. So you were one of those, I believe, that topped off on that one to go. Yep. I mean, how stressful was it to just kind of be running a fuel number that whole run until finally you guys kind of just release and go full send there at the end?
I wanted to put something under my accelerator so I couldn't go to full throttle. We were trying to stay at like 75% the whole time and stay with the draft. And I ran out of gas trying to do burnouts on the start-finish line, celebrating.
Well, I think you probably did better than some of the other guys because we were talking to we're talking to Todd, and he mentioned that Dean actually ran out just coming to the line. So that was my other concern was say you see the huge wreck behind you and say unfortunately takes out your pusher Maxwell there, but then you see those two TW guys lined up behind you, and I say of course it being Talladega, that the further distance to the start finish line. Did you feel like you're probably a sitting duck at that point, or did you feel like you maybe had enough momentum gap to kind of keep ahead?
I knew it was going to be close, and it was Dean. I love racing with Dean, and I threw one block on Dean and then let him have the other side, and I saw it was two of them, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be real close. And when I crossed, I was like, oh wow, I won, cool. So it was a great finish. It was a really good race, a lot of sitting there waiting for a while, but it was a great race.
Yeah, so it was definitely I mean, that's a tough one because, like I said, you guys trying to stay out of trouble to start the race off, and then you have to do the fuel mileage the last run. So so you guys didn't really get to do what you do best, and kind of be aggressive and make those big moves and control the race. Like we're used to. But when it comes down to the go time at the very end, never surprised to see you guys in the thick of it there. And I think Matt even said during the broadcast, just like, where did that lane come from? Because I mean, you guys just came with a huge head of steam there.
Yeah, it was time to go.
It was very impressive. So
I have to thank Maxwell, and Sebastian was back there too, pushing Maxwell. So we were gonna go. I think the three of us would have went right to the front, but unfortunately there was a mishap, and it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I came back there for Area 51. I haven't raced yet in the trucks and because of work, but I'll try and make it back for next week.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have you back. And I'm saying I'm sure it's always a good welcome back to hop in and go straight to the win as well. So
that was good.
Thank you.
But no, awesome job though tonight, Joe. And definitely before we let you go, definitely want to give you the floor for thanks and shouts you'd like to give for getting that win here tonight.
Yep, thank you. I'd like to thank my teammates, Bootnox, Gabe, and Seabass, and everybody else. I'd like to thank Area 51 for putting on a great show. And you guys in the booth for bringing it all to everybody else out there. Thank you.
Yeah, congrats again, man. So enjoy this one. So I'm sure there'll be good incentive to get you back out on track here again soon. So enjoy this one, but definitely look forward to seeing you back on track here, sir.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
All right, Matt, that is our race winner in that 052 of Joe Della Vecchia. Unfortunately, I haven't found Dean, so I'll say unfortunately we'll have to try to get a chat with him in a future event. But just definitely a different one tonight. I'd say kind of I wouldn't say a tale of two races per se, but I mean that last run there. I mean, it was basically who wanted to try to do what, and it's just when you get in those windows, you got to do the field number because you're never gonna save enough to, or you're never gonna be quick enough to offset saving a pit stop here at Talladega. So it was the right call for those guys to stay out. Unfortunately, those that tried to make the pit stops work in their favor. Looks like the furthest they got to is about 14th position for Seth Groover with Charles Johnson right there as well. But I mean, that's a wild one there at the end.
Yeah, that was a big gamble by them guys. Hoping they wouldn't make it, but as we heard what Todd Siebels said, Dean ran out of fuel coming to the line. So I was worried about some of the other guys, if they would make it or not. Maxwell, he was sputtering coming to the line as well. It was a great race to watch. Fuel watch. Excuse me. We never really see a fuel mileage race ever.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a fuel mileage race here, right? And again, it's not like it was one that's just based on the races or anything like that. It's just the timing of that yellow put it right into that window, and I say it's just at that point it's kind of a strategy game. Okay, do we go aggressive and try to pit and see where we wind up, or do we just be real easy on the fuel and see if we can make it to the end? And saw a little bit of both there tonight.
Mm-hmm. Them TW boys, they planned it out to perfection. Hats off to them boys and them working the fuel numbers. Getting away with the P2 and P3. Like you said, too bad we didn't get to talk to Dean. I would love to hear his unbiased opinion on that. So good job.
Yeah, great job by those guys. And I mean, not a bad job by Joe as well, able to almost save enough fuel to do some burnouts there at the end. It sounds like maybe did a couple, then ran out at the very end. But yeah, just awesome job to all of those guys. And Matt, it's been a pleasure having you up here with me over the last couple of weeks. I say should get Brandon back again next week, and I say we're going to throw you in one of these things and see what you can do with these guys. So appreciate what you've been able to do to help me out here, but looking forward to seeing you dice it up with these guys next week.
Don't put me on the spot. I plan on trying to stay hidden.
No worry, we won't spy on you too much throughout the race, but yeah, everybody else, of course, that watches and supports us here on Green White Checker TV, thank you all so much. Again, apologies for my rookie error there and leaving the mute on after during the caution break. I'll say, like I said, there's always little things I got to work on. I got some ideas for the future to fix that. So until then, though, hope you all have a wonderful evening. Happy Friday Eve, and of course, until then, if you can, of course, stay safe. Have a good evening, and we'll be back on Sunday night for the I'm sorry, we're off on Sunday night is what I've been meaning to say. Hopefully you all enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday, and we'll be back on Green White Checker TV on Tuesday night, though, for the Indy Series. Saying that one, I'm sure you'll enjoy plenty of attention there, Matt. So thank you all so much for supporting us, for watching. Until then, have a good night, and take care.
Let's go Rams.